A Fox News propagandist, Laura Ingraham, is warning Donald Trump, if Democrats win big in 2026, you are going to get yourself impeached. Let's take a look at this video.
Federal budget, and I can tell you for this next fiscal year, we are going to be taking a flamethrower to the waste that Elon Musk is
better,
identifying.
because these midterms don't go the right way. We're looking at, the Democrats are already planning to impeach President Trump. That is the truth. The investigations are going to start, and they're going to go into town on you all, on the Republican Party. So, and again, you got here 5 minutes ago. Look, he's already getting the Ingram angle treatment, Congressman.
What I'm struggling with here is the idea that this is some Democratic plot to impeach Trump, right? Plotting as if there's a secret cabal of Democratic operatives huddled in some back room with cigars, maybe with gummies, talking about the plan. And it makes it sound kind of like a grand conspiracy. Now, should Trump be impeached? Of course he should. I did a video a week after Trump was back in office pointing out he's done 5 different things worthy of impeachment. But would the Senate actually convict him? Absolutely not. Now, 2026 is a long way off, and a lot can happen between now and then. Right now, Trump has the House and Senate firmly in his grip, and unless Democrats can somehow crack the Republican loyalty cult to Trump, attempting to impeach Trump is going to be just another pointless performative exercise. Deserved, but a pointless performative exercise. The unfortunate reality of the current political landscape is that the Republican Party has made it abundantly clear that they're going to defend Trump no matter what, whether he's impeached, whether he's indicted, whether he's convicted, whether he's caught on tape admitting to crimes, which, by the way, all of those things have already happened. We know that the loyalty cult will continue. But now we have to act all shocked. Oh, Democrats are plotting to impeach Trump if they take over in 2026. And now it's a witch hunt, and Trump is going to start selling impeachment survivor commemorative plates and the whole thing. We've already said it. The guy deserves to be impeached just based on his first week in office. But it's not a secret thing. It's obvious. It's simply not going to go anywhere under the current political environment. And this, if we zoom out just a little bit, we've talked many times over the last decade about how checks, balances, and norms have completely and totally collapsed. And I write about this a little bit in my forthcoming book, which is that the reason we talk about norms collapsing isn't because of some nostalgic attachment to the way it used to be and pointless rules of decorum and etiquette. Kind of the stuff that Trump has done is not the political equivalent of putting your napkin on the table before you're done eating in the world of etiquette, okay? The reason that it's such a critical failure to explore is that when we talk about what some call the perfect nature of how the framers of the Constitution set up checks and balances, we've learned they weren't quite so perfect because they assumed something about the American people. The checks and balances, as established by the founders, assumed that Trump would never be a reality because the American public would never be so dumb. They would never fall for it. And what we learned, and one of the things that I kind of pointed out in my segment about, like Plato, I'm questioning whether democracy is the best system, sort of tongue in cheek. I still think it is, but it has real problems, which is the incompetent ultimately end up in charge or can end up in charge. The reason that the norm breaking is important is because it does go to the degree to which the checks and balances established by the framers simply don't cut it when it comes to a population like the one we have right now and its willingness to put someone like Donald Trump back in office. So that's really the point. It's not just pointless, like the French politesse. It has real impact here. Now, on the bonus show today, we are going to talk about how inflation is lower than expected in February. This is good news. I have made it abundantly clear. I have a perspective on this show. It is a left-wing perspective, but I am not going to deceive you at least not deliberately. If I do it accidentally, I'll apologize and correct myself. I'm not going to deceive you and play political games with the economy. We saw inflation 2.9 when Biden left office. It went up to 3. It is now down to 2.8. This is happening under Trump. We will discuss it on today's bonus show. I also want to talk about the California governor's race. Former Congresswoman Katie Porter has stepped into the governor's race in California. This also relates to the future of Gavin Newsom politically, many important aspects to this. And we also are seeing Utah poised to become the first state to ban fluoride in its public water system. Is this the influence of RFK Jr.? We will discuss it. As far as my book goes, we are now at roughly 7,500 pre-orders. I am going to be signing copies at Brookline Booksmith very soon. You can get a signed copy at davidpakman.com/booksmith. I have started getting a bunch of my author copies. These will start shipping out soon. The official release date is March 25th. The audiobook is available. The Kindle book is available. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, any local bookstore can get the book for you. But the only place to get the signed copy is davidpakman.com/booksmith. In addition, it is possible that by this time tomorrow, or maybe the next day, we will have reached 3 million subscribers on YouTube. Thank you in advance. I appreciate it so very much. And remember that we will be back tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow, let me see. I want to look at our schedule because we have something very interesting coming up. Yes, tomorrow we will be hearing from one of the fired federal workers, thanks to Doge. And I think that's going to be very interesting. Next week, Jamie Raskin's going to be on with us. Congressman Dan Goldman will be joining us. And then I've got a bunch of other things coming up. So we'll see you on the bonus show. And I'll be back here tomorrow. I have a book coming out. I've spent a long time working on this. I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. It is called The Echo Machine, and it answers a crucial question. How did American politics get so broken? And just as importantly, how do we fight back effectively before it's too late? Trump back in the White House, damage piling up, an administration filled with extremists and loyalists, attacks on democratic institutions, policies hurting working people. If you've felt like you're screaming into the void and watching democracy slip away, my book, The Echo Machine, will help you make sense of what's happening and also give you an idea of what we can do about it. Go to davidpakman.com/echo or find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, I'd like David Pakman's The Echo Machine from Beacon Press. Pre-orders make a huge difference. Please support the book at davidpakman.com/echo.